There's the drone. He's been there for about 15 minutes now. There's stuff spraying out of them.
These drones appear to be sophisticated. They are very large drones, and they are hovering precariously close to very sensitive sites, including military sites.
Swarms of drones the size of small cars have been spotted over parts of New Jersey, alarming local residents.
How is it possible that everyone from the New Jersey governor to the FBI have no idea what these are?
Some of the FBI agents that have been assigned to look into this have reported drones flying over their home.
Every time you check your phone or flip on the news, the story's the same. Mysterious drones are filling the skies over New Jersey. But what's really going on behind these headlines? Who's pulling the strings? Government agencies, foreign powers, or is it something else entirely? Theories are running wild, but one thing's for sure. This isn't another conspiracy theory. This is actually happening. In today's video, we're going to be peeling back the layers and digging deep into the craze of the New Jersey drones. New developments, more theories, and the facts that you need to know. Buckle up, because this story is far from over. I did not have car-sized drones, UAPs, or UFOs on my 2024 bingo card. I will say that this 2024 season finale is absolutely insane, so yeah guys, if you could do me a favor and leave a like on this video, and make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel so you get notified on my future videos and live streams surrounding this New Jersey drone saga. I will actually be going to New Jersey and investigating a lot of these crash sites where the drones have reportedly fallen at, and I will be interviewing a whole bunch of people and really digging deep in person in New Jersey. I'm just waiting for this pneumonia to finally leave. I should be on the last day, so tomorrow I'll be headed over. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that notification when you get it. Now guys, I do want to mention that there are thousands of reports of drones in the skies in New Jersey and neighboring states. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these reports tend to, just end up being planes or jets or something like that. But this recently recorded video that was uploaded to the internet blows my mind, because whatever that is in the sky is no plane, is no jet. That is some sort of UAP, UFO. You got to take a look at this, because I'm mind blown. See, this drone is flying over a neighborhood. It's literally not that high above these houses. And, it makes sense why a lot of people are genuinely concerned about these drones, because, some have reported that these drones are the size of cars, SUVs, and God forbid it falls on your house, you have your family inside, or regardless, look at this thing. You cannot tell me that that's a plane, a jet. No, that is triangular shaped, blinking red light. And another thing too, this video really messed with my head, because on some background information about this video, there are websites like Flight Radar where you can actually track aircraft in the area. You could track aircraft anywhere, basically, in the United States. But that aircraft right there, that drone, did not pop up on those websites. So you tell me, what do you guys think that is? Please let me know down in the comment section below. If you have any theories, thoughts, let me know down there. I'd love to communicate with you guys. Love to hear what you think. If you've seen these yourselves, please let me know, because man, I can't wait to go out there. But a lot of people that are there right now, you guys have been chiming in the comments, but all I know is day by day, this is only getting more and more intense. And to get all of you viewers up to speed on exactly everything that is going on, this is the most recent update that can really just tie everything together in about a minute and really explain to you exactly what's going on. And then we will be peeling back the layers. We'll be looking at all sorts of things, even things such as nuclear radioactive material being lost, and that's now a huge theory about everything, to the president and president-elect coming in together and them making responses about everything. We got a lot to uncover today, but let's take a look at this that really explains everything.
There's another one.
For almost a month, swarms of drones the size of small cars have been spotted over parts of New Jersey, alarming local residents.
I look to my left and I see two big drones. They were propeller driven, going very slowly.
And unnerving lawmakers who say they popped up in at least 10 counties. The issue prompting a meeting Wednesday attended by roughly 100 mayors and state representatives.
Are you telling me that in America, somebody can start flying drones and we have no clue what's going on?
Garden state leaders say they're confounded by the federal government's response and that of their own governor, who's preaching calm. Perhaps even more concerning, military officials say they've documented at least 11 unauthorized drone incursions over nearby Picatinny Arsenal, a weapons development center. And President-elect Trump's Bedminster Golf Club is also in the area. Local police have been launching their own drones into the sky to give chase. So far, the mysterious drones continue to elude them.
And it's just crazy to me how these legislators and lawmakers, they could come together and really just kind of act like we're dumb. You know, they kind of try to play this off as if it's not as crazy as it is, you know? It's almost like they're trying to stop the mass panic, which I get, don't get me wrong. But the way they're handling things doesn't play into that. These police responses, news responses, these legislators' responses to everything that's happened so far is genuinely pathetic. You know, a lot of them play this off as like, you know, we don't know what it is, but I wouldn't worry about it. You know what I mean? How can we not worry about car-sized aircraft in the sky that you have no idea where it's from? You don't know if it's from another country. You don't know their intentions. You don't know who's flying it. But then you're arresting civilians who are flying their own drones just trying to figure out what they're doing. Do you not see the massive red flags being waved in our faces right here, guys? I want to show you this most recent news response from a news station in New Jersey that really covers this a little bit. And trust me, you want to hear this.
Is this a matter of crowdsourced information capturing lots of drones or lots of people capturing pictures of a few drones? That's just like a basic question I have.
Yeah, I mean, that's the central question around this, because we are seeing reports of thousands and thousands of reports of sightings, but law enforcement has made it very clear to us that that doesn't mean that there are thousands and thousands of drones out there. A lot of those reports are centered around singular incidents of drones, which adds to a layer of lack of clarity in an already very unclear story. Now, here's what we do know. These drones appear to be sophisticated. They are very large drones, and they're hovering precariously close to very sensitive sites, including military sites like the one behind me, Naval Weapons Station Earl, which is known for manufacturing munitions that go out to certain branches of the U.S. military. Now, this is just the latest in a slew of sensitive areas where these drones have come into close encounters. On Friday night, drone activity forced New York State's Stewart Airfield, which serves commercial and military flights, to shut down for 1 hour. And then drone activity, we are learning today, caused officials to close airspaces over one of the United States' most critical Air Force bases, the 88th Air Base Wing at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. So that is a new state to add to the list where these purported drone sightings are wreaking havoc on the communities. As you mentioned, the federal government has come out and said there's not really much to worry about here, but then they are not backing that up with any concrete evidence to prove to people that these drones are not a threat. So there's a lot of skepticism, Major. Everyone that we have spoken to on the ground here says, yeah, it's great that the government believes that these are not threatening in nature. They're not going to jeopardize our security, but the proof's in the pudding. They're waiting to see that proof to get a better sense that things are safe.
And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier when I said that mass hysteria is playing a huge part in this. Do not get me wrong. When something like this happens and it's hitting, major news coverage and media coverage, it sends a lot of people into a state of panic. However, the government is doing a god-awful job at providing us reasons to not be worried. All they're saying is, should be good. So, and as this gentleman mentioned, he said that Ohio is added to the list now of states that have had these reporting sightings of drones in the air. And that's so crazy to me because in my last video that I covered on this, I actually asked you guys for your thoughts, theories, and, if you just have seen these sort of drones in the air. And so many people are chiming in from Colorado, North Carolina, some from Florida, Arizona, which is across country. But even crazier, there were people commenting from Brazil, Argentina. They were commenting in Portuguese or Spanish, and Google had to like auto translate, and it would be like, hey, I'm seeing them over here in our country too. Like, what is going on? This is bigger than you could ever imagine, and I fear that something is being covered up. But we'll get into that in just a sec. Let's get back to this video.
Tom, understandably, people might wonder, okay, if they're not malicious, they're not going to shoot at us, but they might be surveilling those sensitive sites.
Yeah, and that would fall in line with the patterns that we're hearing about these drones taking, which is a zigzag kind of pattern, hovering over areas for an extended period of time. One of the things that I find very interesting about this, and I'm very curious about, but haven't been able to get any concrete answers, a lot of these drones appear to be coming off of the water, and we don't know how far out into the ocean they are coming from, but there's the question around how much battery life these drones have, and if that is all that they rely on for power. Crazy. A lot of people are wondering if these drones also rely on fuel supplies, which would indicate a level of sophistication beyond most commercial drones that you can purchase out there. And so a lot of law enforcement, especially the ones that we've spoken to over the last 24 hours, they are saying, that is a question that's on their minds too. But there is a disconnect here, because while the federal government has said that they are giving resources to local law enforcement is still feeling very much in the dark as to a lot of the clues for these drones. Major.
That was another very popular topic in my last video's comment section, where these drones coming out, or it seemed as if they were coming out of the ocean, or maybe they were just coming from different countries, and that plays into this whole thing of like foreign, surveillance, or what is exactly going on. But, something like that kind of spins everything, because now people are like, well, if it's coming from the ocean, then it must be aliens. It must be Project Bluebeam. It must be, it's not just like probably the most logical one, which is like it's coming from a different, country. You know what I mean? But a lot of things kind of go out. And at this point, honestly, I'm open to anything. Hell, I almost wish it was aliens, guys. I would prefer aliens versus our actual government that's supposed to be protecting us lying to us and doing some sneaky shit. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Now, my honest opinion about everything, and this is going to be a sensitive topic. It's going to uncover a whole can of worms, but listen, guys, we have had some very controversial topics pop up in media lately. A lot surrounding Hollywood topics. P. Diddy, Jay-Z, the list goes on and on. Not only that, but we just had a CEO of the largest healthcare insurance organization get murdered in broad sight, literally on a sidewalk. And that whole situation happened. But think about it. Just think about this for just 1 second. You couldn't open up your phone and go on social media without seeing things about those topics I just mentioned, right? Now, not a peep. And in my opinion, this seems like a cover-up. This is just my opinion, my theory, right? Because what if there's a lot going on behind closed doors that it's just being deflected at this point, because it's just so many people are so interested about this drone thing. I mean, hell, I would be worried too, especially if I lived in that area. And, you kind of take your sight off of one thing for a sec, you focus on this, and when you put your sight back, it's completely different, or a lot of things have changed. Hell, there's probably been some huge news that's been swept under the rug completely ever since this whole drone thing started. And then you also have to ask yourself the next question: is this Project Bluebeam? That's another very popular comment that was in my last video. Project Bluebeam is a theory that alleges a secret government plan to use advanced technology to create a series of false events, including the appearance of a new messiah or alien invasion, in order to establish a new world order. And I know this sounds crazy. Trust me, I do. This is absolutely insane. But hear me out for a sec. The more I think about that, right? The more I dig deeper into this whole New Jersey drone situation, the more I start asking myself, is it really that crazy of a theory? Like, is there really a possibility that could be going on? Listen, guys, you have to let me know, because this next topic is the most recent event that's taken place, and this is crazy. There is apparently missing nuclear/radioactive materials that have been, no one knows where they are, right? They've been gone since the beginning of December, right? And this is really strange because that's around the time where these drones really started hitting the media hard. This started around Thanksgiving time, but it's obviously ramped up in the recent days and weeks. And, you know, that whole cover-up thing I was talking about? Yeah, just really take a step back and think about the bigger picture here. The way that this even caught my attention was because I was scrolling social media last night and I saw that someone posted, actually it was all over the place, people were posting that there was high levels of radiation in several cities and all over New Jersey and New York, but what caught my attention was this picture that showed a very dangerous level of radiation in my hometown. Like at that point I was like, okay, what is going on? And I kept searching, I kept digging, and what I found was insane. U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission alert confirmed radioactive material lost on transit. The shipping container arrived damaged and empty in New Jersey. When did this radioactive material go missing? December 2nd, 2024. Where did it go missing? New Jersey. There's also tons of talk about a potential dirty bomb, potential nuclear bomb, that could have made its way over here, and a lot of people are talking about this, and I actually saw this clip here that I'm going to show you from a lieutenant, and he was in the FBI terrorism task force, and he chimed in on his opinion on everything. It's insane. This is genuinely insane.
I worked at the National FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, and we did a lot of intelligence gathering regarding the border, and our fear was that someone would walk in with a dirty bomb, or someone would walk in with a powerful weapon. Wow. And at least when I was there was no evidence that that was happening, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen, okay? Wow. That all these years, maybe, you know, you have cells being created all over the place. Now, only the FBI and the CIA, et cetera, know that right now, but saying that, we need to be vigilant. You see something, say something. Very important at this time in history of our history. And secondly, our government needed to take action a long time ago to shut that border down. We see it's going to happen soon. But believe me when I tell you that when it comes to the national security of the United States, we're going to see some very significant changes for the good down the road. Unfortunately, it got to this point, but you know who rose to the occasion? The American people. The American people rose to the occasion and said, enough's enough. America has to defend itself against all threats, foreign and domestic. And that's coming real soon.
And when you really think about what he's saying in multiple lights, right? Because you think about it and you're like, okay, defending ourselves in many ways, but at the same time, the American people coming forward and really taking a stand in this and using their voice to capture what the hell is going on, all sorts of anomalies, not just, you know, the most obvious one, but even if it's just a thought, a theory, you're putting it out there. You're letting people know that we're not dumb. We're not stupid. We see what's going on. And, you know, a lot of times you'll see in these videos and stuff, you'll have FBI versus the people versus the people, and it's kind of all over the place. No one really knows who to trust anymore. Hell, I don't blame them, but this has just gotten so far out of hand. I don't even know what to say. Let me know what you guys think. What's pretty crazy to me is how we're told by several law enforcement officials to not worry about these drones and that they pose no harm. But then you hear this that kind of just completely flips that on its head.
New Jersey Division of Fire Safety is sending a message to firefighters around the state about these drones.
Fire officials are telling local first responders that if there is a downed drone, stay away. They shared an 8-point list of guidelines that say not to approach it and to stay more than 300 feet away. Downed drones should not be approached. It goes on to advise firefighters to stay back more than 300 feet in all directions, use their full protective equipment, notify law enforcement and the FBI, and request hazardous materials response. It also says to request the nearest bomb squad. The last recommendation says electronic devices and two-way radio systems may malfunction in the immediate area.
So you're telling me that these do not pose any sort of threat, we should not worry, but If it's downed, do not be within 300 feet and call the bomb squad. Got it, guys. Thanks. This is genuinely insane. That alone is enough to really send people in a massive state of panic. And can you really blame them? In the previous video of me covering this New Jersey drone saga, I talked about a topic of orbs that were caught in the sky. These massive orbs that kind of just look like plasma. It was really strange. There was even one that it was just moving constantly. It just looked like a massive ball of electricity. And this topic is one that I truly just don't understand, and really no one in the comments had any sort of logical explanation to it. So if you do, please let me know. But there's this one that was just recorded recently, and this one is genuinely blowing my mind. I want to hear your take on this because I don't have words for this.
Time. I try to zoom in with my camera all the way up to the drone.
Look at that.
This is what I get. It has a round, like, shield around it. Fucking nuts. Well, right, that's zoomed in, 100, 208. And I'll show you the drone right now. Up in the sky. All the way over there.
That is crazy. That is insane. Guys, that is a 208 times zoom, and you get to the point, and that's what you see. Truly, that sends like chills down my spine, because I don't even blame people for thinking it's aliens at this point, because what the hell are we living through right now? Like, what is this, guys? Like, what is going on in 2024? Please, someone explain this for me down in the comments. Like I mentioned earlier, these aren't your ordinary drones. Not only are they ginormous, but they could actually bypass certain protocols and conditions that we as civilians wouldn't be able or have the rights to if we purchased our own drone and tried to do the same things they're doing. So this next clip that I'm going to show you is of a well-known drone pilot who took to the news to explain all things surrounding these drones and his take on everything. And trust me, someone who does this for a living, this is his life, to hear these things coming from his mouth, it's very alarming. And like I said, waving a red flag right in our faces. Take a look at this.
Okay. We have more video that you sent us of you, in fact, trying to launch a drone, and it was right near an airport. So tell us what happened there and why it's so noteworthy.
Okay, so we got reports last night that there was a lot of drone activity in the East Hanover area, which backs up to Morristown Airport and all that vicinity. So we head out there, we set up in a parking lot about a quarter mile away from the airport, and I'm trying to get flight clearance to take the drone up and see what this other drone is, and I cannot. Restricted, I tried to bypass it. Zone. At one point, it even asked for my phone number, and I said, no, I think we're good at this point.
Okay, now hang on. When you say looking for flight clearance, how does that work? I mean, are you literally talking with a control tower, or what are you doing?
So there's an app that you use to connect to the drone. When it's time, when you want to fly, you press a button, and what it does is it looks for flight clearance or restrictions. And what happened was there was a restriction in that area, and I couldn't get up, but there were drones in the air that weren't following the restriction. Now, we verify everything above us with flight radar, so we can tell if it's an airplane or if it's not. None of the things that we go after are on flight radar.
Okay, so what we're looking at, this device notwithstanding, this control for your drone, if drones are getting into areas without clearance by the FAA, is it possible they figured out some kind of a technology to keep their drones from being jammed and or losing power?
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if you're aware, last week or so, 2 weeks when this started, I tried to take my drone over Picatinny Arsenal to follow a drone that was just hovering over there. And as I got closer, my drone lost power, spun out, and the battery died, and it went down. But the other drone remained sitting in the air unaffected.
How?
Why? What do you think?
Yep. Secrets that the government don't want us to know, and they're playing stupid. Either that or aliens.
Oh, come on. Not the latter. Okay, you're smiling. All right, I'm glad. All right. So are there enough restrictions for drones? You're a drone user. Are those restrictions taken seriously by your colleagues, your friends that are drone users as well? Or is more regulation needed? And if it went out there, would it be followed?
I think people are always going to find a way around the regulations. I don't think the average user can get around it because without that app and without that clearance, your drone will not go in the air. It just sits there with a red light. So if they did more restrictions, I don't know that they would be followed.
What do you make of the number that the FBI says of all those reports they've gotten? 5,000 reports, fewer than 100 or so warranting further investigation. What do you think would warrant further investigation or exploration? What is it that would pop up that they'd say, yeah, we got to look at this?
I would start with drones hovering over military bases, which I live right next to, and I watch them. They go back and forth. They leave for a little bit. They come back. They hover around. Nothing happens. No one does anything. They just sit there and watch them hover in the air.
But you don't know that those aren't intentionally there, right? That they have been cleared.
Could be. We don't have information on drones. When I go onto a flight radar app, I can only see whatever aircraft is registered in the sky at that moment. And drones are not part of that.
People have, at least Secretary Mayorkas, he had suggested before yesterday that these were all fixed-wing aircraft, these dozens and dozens and dozens of sightings. Now he's saying mostly that, but there are some that are just drones. What's your expectation of this? If it's fixed-wing aircraft, why is it so hard to tell the difference?
So I believe the misconception is when we say drone, people are picturing like my recreational drone. It's got the 4 propellers, and they can get very large. The drones that we're seeing are like mini aircraft. They look like airplanes, but at the distance they are at, they're too small to be airplanes. They're too small to be aircraft, and they're not on the registration for the flight radar. So they do look like airplanes, and that's what's confusing people because they look up and they say, "Okay, that looks like an airplane," but it's not. It's a small drone.
I think it's so crazy how we as civilians, ordinary people, right? We cannot bypass these regulations and rules for these drones and aircrafts, right? But these drones that we're not supposed to worry about can do so with ease. They can fly over military bases, and it's just like, Remember in the last video how the colonel of the police department stated that he was in his helicopter and there was a drone underneath the helicopter. He was so scared that he flew away and went home. He didn't do any further research or, send in an investigation on what that drone was. He was just so scared he went home. This is so weird. I truly feel like I'm living in like some sort of simulation right now. None of this shit makes sense. It is insane. Now, people have spotted these drones spraying and releasing things into the air. This is genuinely insane. And a lot of people are very quick to dismiss this and say, hey, it's just planes, it's just jets, it's chemtrails, contrails, nothing to worry about. But when you look on flight radar and it's stating that it's not a jet, it's not a plane, and it's not owned by the U.S., red flags. Lots of them. Take a look at this video because this is genuinely crazy.
All right. Here's one. What's that? Not really sure.
And that's a lot, too. Like, that's genuinely a lot. I was never one to believe in the whole thing of, like, aircraft spraying things into the sky. There are so many videos surrounding this.
Here's another one.
It's insane.
Going east.
I'll be back. Just look how many there are.
There's another one.
Oh my God. It looks like that's the same like triangular shape that we saw earlier in the video. Now that one does look like a plane, 100%, but why is this so close to the ground, 1? 2, the person who recorded this stated that where they were flying, they checked on flight radar, nothing showed up that it was a commercial plane, a jet, etc., etc. And 2,
another one right behind.
I didn't even know this, but this is written underneath the video. Hold on, I want to show you this. Jets cannot occupy the same airspaces that close to one another. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. So when you really put all of this into perspective, you're like, yeah. But you could see the amount of drones that are in the sky at this point, and it's all just one massive what the fuck is really what it is. There's no other way to really put it. It's all just what the fuck. So in the last video that I covered on this topic, we actually covered a situation where there was a drone that allegedly crashed in Hillsborough, New Jersey, right behind a Lowe's. And people were going there to investigate, and they were actually asking people who worked at the Lowe's, worked at the businesses nearby, and the only things that they were able to say was, the police told us that we're not allowed to say anything. Really strange. But I did find this new clip here, and this is nuts. Please listen to what this resident of Hillsborough, New Jersey claims.
Okay, we're in Hillsborough, New Jersey. A drone went down here about 12 a.m. I recorded that video at about 10:30, 10:45 this morning when I went over to the Lowe's parking lot to see what was going on. When I arrived, I saw cop cars everywhere, fire trucks everywhere, special services trucks, hazmat trucks, and people in hazmat suits and fire gear coming out of the woods when I got there. Mind you, they have been there since about 12 a.m., so they were there for almost a full 12 hours. If it was nothing, they wouldn't still be there. Did I see them pull anything out of the woods? I don't know. I couldn't get that close. There were people coming off on RVs and like ATV things, but we weren't allowed to get close enough, so I couldn't see even if they had something covered. If it actually was a drone crash, I'm assuming that they would have picked up all the big pieces throughout the middle of the night since it crashed at 12 a.m.
Right.
I was standing with other people, and one guy that I talked to said that he was there around 12:30 a.m. and took a picture of 2 hazmat trucks there at 12:30 a.m. I don't have that picture, but they've been there from 12:30 this morning until they left around probably 12:30. And I mean 12:30 p.m. They were there a whole 12 hours cleaning up whatever this was. I've heard about these drones but never saw one until last night when I recorded, and that's the video. The other video that I have posted is the recording I took last night of a huge drone. It doesn't look that big in the camera because the iPhone camera just doesn't do it justice. Seeing it in person, and it was less than a quarter mile away from me, it was gigantic. I'm not making this up. Hillsborough Township had stated to me when I was there that they were going to release like a press release or press conference or something.
Did they?
But to my knowledge, nothing has been released yet. If it was nothing, they wouldn't have been there for over 12 hours searching in hazmat suits, having all these resources pulled. If it was nothing, it was something.
And this is one of many videos surrounding this exact topic at this exact crash site. This is so crazy, guys, because for starters, why hazmat? What possibly happened where it was hazmat? Now, obviously, we think back to earlier in the video, we mentioned things along the lines of radioactive and nuclear materials, right? Could be along the lines of that. Could also be something where they mentioned, if a drone does fall, call a bomb squad. Could be something with that. But I just think it's so strange. Normally when something like this happens in a city, normally a smaller city, but I don't really think it matters for something like this, you would expect some sort of press to come out to kind of calm the people in the city down. But if you're doing this and you see cars coming up, you see RVs, ATVs like they mentioned, coming in this area, and they're all trying to record and do the same thing, probably be best to put a press and just say, hey guys, everything's good. Nothing was found or whatever. Lying like all the other shit you've been lying about. Right, guys? Like, come on, now, this is so crazy to me, and I don't know. This is why I'm really excited to actually go to these crash sites myself when I go down to New Jersey, because I will be annoying as all hell. I will try to get the answers out of everyone. I'll pry it out of them, don't you worry. But this next clip that I wanted to show you, obviously this is a very popular topic. Huge. A lot of big names are talking about this. Even President-elect Donald Trump came out and mentioned this, which was pretty crazy to hear because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I love conspiracies. It's all I look into in my free time. And we've had a lot of UFO sightings and strange things happen the past couple of years. I can't remember the last time a president-elect has come out to really make a statement about something. So just really listen to this. This was earlier today at the briefing, and it's nuts.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should.
I honestly don't know what to say there. And it really does favor the mass majority of people who are claiming this to be some sort of cover-up, the government lying to us, etc., etc. So please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Honestly, guys, I fear that this is only going to get more and more intense as the days go on. Can't pass 5 minutes without another video popping up of someone recording a drone in the sky. This is probably the biggest thing in news in a very long time. So expect more videos, more live streams coming on this matter on this channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed. That way you don't miss when I do go live from New Jersey at crash sites, investigating all the crazy things going on over there. I'm really going to get down to the nitty-gritty of it. I'm going to continue covering this topic. I'm going to try my best. I have a very, very big interest in this, more so because I feel like we're being lied to. Once again, I feel like there is a massive cover-up going on, and frankly, I've been dealing with pneumonia for the past 2 weeks, right? So I've had a lot of free time into this, and now I'm devoted. I'm in, and I, just like all of you guys, want answers, and I'll do my best to get there. Hell, if any of you guys are from New Jersey and you'd like to join me when I come out tomorrow, please message me, leave a comment down in the comment section below. Let's make it happen. Guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video that's evidently coming. See you soon.